Hey guys, it's Theo here from the Conquering Dyslexia. Now today's episode is kind of like a catch-up, but what we're talking about here is sharing from my own story a bit about how you just don't let your circumstances, maybe with dyslexia, define who you are and keep you stuck in that place. Now you can really shift things to your own advantage in this day and age. I really hope there's a lot of valuable tools and valuable lessons to be learned here. So obviously, when listeners, please guys, take in information, do use it as much as possible, and when you can, share it. You mean leave comments, leave support. You mean join a Facebook group, Conquering Dyslexia, which can really help and support each other. So anyway, guys, take care, farewell, and enjoy today's episode.
So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe, where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be, or in other words, conquer their dyslexia? That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast.
Hey everyone, I hope you're doing good. And today I want to have a chat with us a bit about what's been going on in my life recently and how I've kind of gone about dealing with it and the lessons I've learnt from it, hopefully to add some value and to give you some forms of clarity or a few distinctions that maybe you can use in your life, and maybe setting yourself a standard that you will not let certain circumstances from the environment, from your dyslexia, hold you back and let it be that way in how you can move forward. Because, yesterday, I had a very interesting thing happen to me, not yesterday, the day before that, 2 days ago. Very interesting thing happened to me. Because I was doing my work, I was planning, and because many of you know I'm in Thailand right now teaching English. But because of the COVID situation, I haven't been able to teach English in the classroom. And by the way, this is coming from someone who currently finds it hard to read and write and spell. But yeah, I'm in a school teaching that stuff. And to say that it's not challenging would be a lie. To say that in a lot of sense of me isn't scared is a complete lie. But also I know I'm excited for it, I know I'm ready for it, I know take on the challenge, baby. But something really interesting happened to me. Because I'm here, I haven't worked for a while, that means no money's coming in from that. And things have been getting more and more tight. I'm supposed to start tomorrow. I'm supposed to start actually teaching the school with kids coming in tomorrow, but because of COVID, last second they decided to delay it until the start of next month. Really, which leaves me like another 3 weeks to not do anything. And I remember seeing this thing and think, oh my god, what do I do now? These things happen, these circumstances get put on me, and it's like, oh, this can seem unfair, this can seem unjust, this can seem worrying. What I'm going to do for money, what I'm going to do for this, what I'm going to do for that. I had all these things planned for. I was so excited to start teaching. And then what was really interesting, because obviously these things went through my head really, really fast. And then I kind of sat back in my chair and I thought about it. And I personally have this belief that everything happens for a reason. And I think like it's our job to find the positive reason, and it's our job to decide that it happens for a positive reason. And I was like, okay, what positive thing could this be? And I was like, okay, I'm here in Thailand. To be quite honest, I've really wanted to be offering so much value to you guys and doing loads of stuff, but to be quite honest, I've been lacking in a lot of areas because of other areas taking my focus. Doing things in Thailand never done before. You mean helping, trying to teach English, all this other stuff. And I was like, what if I don't have to wait on the circumstances that the school has to pay me? Because I've been working really hard in the past couple of years trying to really build up a substantial business, and where I can offer people so much more value through certain products like Dyslexia, Black Book, where I spent you know what I mean, ages over quarantine, getting together all of the best video information that I've learned over the last 3-4 years that's really hard to find about dyslexia. It's so valuable, and picking that one place and giving it people complete for free. The book that I spent 3 years writing about conquering dyslexia, about the 12 steps in order to conquer dyslexia, about the video series, about this, about that, about this Finish the Book challenge, like how I learned to read, basically. It's so much more fast than I've ever done before through this method that no one ever told me. And so I've been through this journey, and I've tried to create a lot of things, and I learned so much about business, so much about putting offers together, so much about putting it in a way that makes sense, putting it in a way that people actually want. And I've worked really hard on that. And I remember sitting back in my chair saying, what if I don't have to wait on the circumstances of the school to have to pay me? What if I can create my own circumstances? What if I can create my own, you know what I mean? What if I don't have to be at the will of the school? What if I could be the will of my own self, the will of my own actions, doing the things that I know I can do, doing the things I know I should do, in order to make a difference, in order to have impact, in order to live my best self, but also in order to not let the school decide whether or not I'll, you know what I mean, have money for certain things. And really getting that mind shift, understanding it and feeling that power, thinking, no, I am in control of my circumstances. You may close one door for me, but hold on, there's thousands of other doors that I can go on and open all by myself. And if you think you're limiting me by closing one door, no, you're not. You actually open up an opportunity for me to open others, if that makes sense, guys. And I really feel, once we really understand that power that we have inside ourselves, not to let the circumstances around us dictate who we are, dictate, you mean, what we can and what we can't do. It's ourselves that can do that. And that power is we all have within us. And I think a lot of time we can fall into the trap, or maybe, you know what I mean, maybe uneducated, and maybe be conditioned to think we're as good as we'll be told, as we've been growing up, as we failed and we tried and failed, and there's fear, and there's embarrassment, there's humiliation, and then we've been conditioned to not try again. We've been conditioned to not try for the next thing. We've been conditioned to not go out and really pursue something we want, because we know we might fail, because we know we find it harder than the other people. Then we don't want to fail again. And having that condition where we just accept our environment around us, we accept our circumstances, we accept the conditions that the environment, the school, that our work, our job, our parents put on us, without fighting back, without demanding what we want from our life, and not that other people give it to us, that we demand it from ourselves. We demand to create this thing, we demand to do this, because, listen, we don't have any control over the outside world. We don't. Things happen. That's not down to us. But yet, things happen. But we got to control how we feel about it. Because there's a beautiful, beautiful saying I've learned by Tony Robbins. Trade your expectations for appreciations, and then you will live a happy life. Let me say that again. Trade all your expectations for appreciations, and you have your happy life. That's how we basically kill suffering, the expectations for appreciations. We expect so much in life. Let me tell you a little story. He says, I remember one time he was on this plane, like a 15-hour plane journey, sitting there quietly because he didn't want people to recognize him, and had this announcement over the radio saying, announcement to all the passengers, we have international Wi-Fi. Now everyone cheered. Wi-Fi connects, they could use their phone, they could use their technology, and everyone was celebrating so much. And guess how long this Wi-Fi lasted for? This connection lasted for 15 minutes. And after it went down, everyone was screaming, and they think, God, this thing's rubbish. Why is this not working? Have to fix this. Why would he say this to us when it's not happening? And Tony Robbins had this realization, thinking, 15 minutes ago, you're like God descending into the building, like the best thing happened. And now, only after 15 minutes, it's an expectation. Because now it's not happening and you don't feel good. So if we just in life trade up expectations for appreciations, when things happen on time, when things happen when they're supposed to, when someone does what they're expected to do, try and appreciate that. Because the more we appreciate in our life, the more little things, the more nuances we appreciate in life, oftentimes the greater it is. Oftentimes we get the magical moments, we feel the essence. Because if you're trying to expect people should act a certain way, trying to expect people to be nice, people to understand our dyslexia, understand this, give us help, give us this, give us that. If we expect those things, when they don't happen, but say inevitably the world's not perfect, then we would always be blaming others. We'd always be maybe miserable, we'd always be sad. But if we really take back the power and say, look, I'm not going to have any, I'm making expectations of myself. This is me. I have expectations of myself. But I don't have any expectations of anyone else. They can do whatever they want in their life. But it's not going to change me. They can do whatever they want, and I'm going to do everything in my power to not let it negatively affect the way I feel about myself, whether I feel about the world, or my mood, or my emotions, or what I'm doing. I'm just going to say, okay, you've done that, okay, and move on, because I have no expectations about how you should act. I would like to act a certain way. If you do, I feel really great and really honoured. But if you don't act that sort of way, I'm doing the best I can to not have that negatively affect me. So I see now, how we can use this in our life because when things happen, when maybe people are unfair, because of COVID, so much struggles going on at the moment with this and that, and so much uncertainty. Don't have any expectations. Don't have any expectations about how people should act, about how people should be, or how the world should be. Obviously, because there's so much struggle. Maybe you want to see your family, you haven't seen for years. You want to see your friends you haven't seen for years. You want to go outside your house, suffering from this, suffering from that. But really try to open up, really try to be free, live a person without thinking how life should be, and start really thinking how life is. And that's just one little snippet in something I want to share with you today. And it's how can you turn that negative into a positive? Because later I was sort of messing with people and I found out, this is by the way, I was all mindset, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to be expected by the school to help me in any way, in any sense. Then I was messaging them, and they was okay, come in anyway on Monday and they can do some online teaching or something like that. And I hoping that they would maybe pay me for that, but I'm not going to let them dictate my circumstances. In a sense, okay, they're going to pay me or they're not going to pay me, whatever. But yeah, I'm still going to do my other stuff over here to make sure I don't need to rely on that, if that makes sense. I don't need to rely on those sort of things. And I think it's about demanding yourself to create the environment around you that you seek. Because if things are unfair, if the environment's unfair, people you're around you don't like, people discriminate you, you create the environment you want. Because it's there. You just got to know how to find it, you got to know how to cultivate it in your life. I think finally, one thing that I've really learned quite recently, not really learn, it's relearn, and it's trying to condition myself, remind myself, and I really hope other people would need this as well, is that listen more. Listen more to people when they talk. Don't try and think you know all the answers. Don't try to think that, oh yeah, I know this is what it makes sense in my head. Because oftentimes as dyslexic, we're very, very, very good thinkers. When we have a problem, we're trying to make sense of something, we can just go out into our own world, or just spend a bit of time by ourselves and make it logically make sense in our head. And once it makes sense, it's very hard for other people to change it because we think we understand it. But oftentimes that can be a negative, or oftentimes that can be detrimental, and sometimes taking a step back. For me, I sort of feel like lots of when talking about something, me and my friends or whatever, if I have an opinion about it, oftentimes I can feel I can voice my opinion and it feels like I'm lecturing, and other people give me their opinions. I don't value it as highly as I should, because I think I've got it all worked out in my head in this weird egotistical way. And I think what I'm also really trying to work on is being open to listen, is being open to take in other people's opinions and maybe make it make sense myself. Make it say, okay, this is true, or don't try and deny it as far as possible and thinking I'm right the whole time. Because anyway, guys, that's what I'm working on, and I hope if you feel it would help you as well. It would help you. Anyway, guys, I really hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you again soon.